I come from a family of Holocaust survivors. My mother and late father are both survivors of the Holocaust. How could I even imagine that such an experience as they had not impact on me?
Would you be prepared to share how the breakthrough for you and that period of your life?
Well, interestingly, not dissimilar to what you've said about yours. It was within the year or two after my father's passing, which is now 15 years ago. And then my mother decided to give her testimony to the Spielberg Foundation, the Visual History Foundation in LA.
Yes.
And that was soon after Schindler's List. In the mid-90s was the film. Yeah. And as we all know, Spielberg then started his testimony project. So my mum became one of the 50,000 worldwide survivors who gave her testimony.
Wow.
Now, what I registered is that I could not bear to watch her testimony. And being in the profession of child psychiatry, the idea of a child not being able to face a parent's issues is very familiar to me here in my consulting room. Yeah. And I had to turn the experience on myself. Why could I not watch my mother's testimony?
Yeah, why couldn't you?
Because it traumatized me. So this is where I didn't know about witnessing. I just knew I had a withdrawal reaction and I could not cope. And so then, of course, being a slight workaholic and not being satisfied with not knowing, I started researching the impact of testimonies, which is where I came across Shoshana Feldman and Dory Laub's book, The Testimony, yes, published in 1992, 20 years ago this year. So in this 20 years from that book to now The Power of Witnessing is where my transformation occurred by talking with colleagues, belonging to groups of Holocaust survivors, workshops. Fortunately, my mother took a very active interest not only in my work, but also her own trauma. And she joined Holocaust survivor groups, child survivor groups.
And
here.
How did she give the testimony? Was it a video film
video
testimony?
film like this
Really?
setting,
wow,
with an interviewer, and for 3.5, 4 hours. And I actually was at the end, as the protocol for those testimonies, survivors or next of kin were asked to join in at the end. So it was a video testimony, yes.
And so were you able to give some testimony at the end?
At the end, yes.
But you couldn't watch your mother's at the time?
At the time I could. It was interesting, I was there because it was a group like here. Mm. But when it came to watching it on a screen by myself, I couldn't.
Oh, okay.
So while it was a shared experience, it's almost as if the witnessing spread around.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Whereas the intensity of mother-son, or traumatized survivor and vicariously traumatized son, was overwhelming.
Wow, that's powerful.
Yeah.